All right, we're live. Deanna, we are live. Welcome back to Comic Book School Live, the show about the craft and business of making comics. Every Tuesday night, we come to you with advice, insights, craft, business, and this is why you tune in. And tonight, I'm joined by Deanna Destito, who was one of our guests not too long ago. But Mike is out and Deanna is filling in. So, let's give a round of applause for Deanna for filling in for Mike. So, Deanna, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much. You are actually double duty. You brought our guest on for tonight. So, so tonight we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. Let me jump through the slides. So first, my name is Buddy Scalera. In case you don't know who I am an award-winning comic book writer. You may have known some of the comic books that I've written. I've also published educational materials, 6 published books on the craft and business of making comics, and a whole lot of photo reference. And of course, I am joined by the managing editor of Comics Beat, Deanna Destito. I'm going to give you another round. Deanna is also a comic book writer, a small press publisher, and also, as you can see from the little circle there, Deanna Sassy Destito, just like Mike and me, worked at Wizard Magazine. Deanna, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me back. I'm excited.
So Deanna, you must have been furiously covering New York Comic Con from the floor, in the thick of it, milling with the people and the body odor and the lack of deodorant. Right, you were on the floor there, right?
I actually skipped this year. This is the first New York Comic Con that I think it's been about 10 years, except for the lost COVID years. I've gone every year for at least a decade.
Well, we're sorry. Good night, everybody. Deanna is no longer with us on the show. Actually, no, we'll bring you back. Deanna, I respect that. In fact, I was in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And tonight, as our guest is about to join us, we're going to get into an NYCC 2025 recap. But please welcome our guest. Hold on, let me get the cheering started. He is well, you do it.
Okay. So Adam is an artist for a lot of publishers. So some of his big stuff is he does a lot of work for Marvel, Immortal Hulk, Incredible Hulk, and he's done some Star Wars Darth Vader books. New Mutants, he's worked on some big Marvel books, as well as IDW, some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. Godzilla, he worked for Vault. Blue Flame, I believe, was the book that he worked on, and some Archie, some Valiant, some Boom. Lot of credits to his name.
All right, well, let's bring him on then.
Hi, everybody.
Adam, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining. Did she cover everything? It seemed like she was just going to keep on going. I was like, all right, you can stop now. I got a lot of credits, Adam. I was very impressed when she suggested you. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of the new creators. You're like, Adam Gorham. I'm like, and then I looked you up and I'm like, oh, I've seen his work. So great stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been hustling since I started comics in 2008 and then doing more mainstream stuff in 2014. And it really just, I've been hustling ever since.
Well, keep at it, Adam. I think you're going to be pretty good one day.
No, thank you very much.
So, Adam, the way we had initially timed out the show was we thought you were going to join slightly later, but since you're with us now, you're going to join us for the NYCC recap, and you were there too, right?
I certainly was, yes.
So you were there in the thick of humanity, where you could literally feel the press of the flesh, and Deanna somehow missed out on that.
I skipped this year. I decided I was better served getting all that wonderful press up on the beat. And I skipped the body odor.
Very well played. Very well played.
It was
my first NYCC in nearly a decade.
Wow.
So I was, I was ready to press flesh and smell odors and all that stuff. It was.
Well, I hope we didn't disappoint you, because I think we did have plenty of body odor in that room, and it feels like it's hermetically sealed in there. Like you can almost see a mist.
Yeah.
Body haze, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like, when you see scientists going into, pressurized rooms, or, what I mean, that kind of things, where you got to acclimatize. You get going in there, it's a little bit like that. It's like con mode, and you just got to immerse yourself in all of it, and you're,
And I don't want to jinx myself or you, Adam. This is the first year I didn't come home with con crud.
oh, nice.
Yeah, but my
Yeah.
daughter did. My daughter came and I have some photos. But and wait a minute, just before, where are you dialing in from? You're dialing in from Canada, yes?
That's correct. I live in Mississauga, which is just outside of Toronto.
Is it
Yeah.
nice?
Is that nice?
Yeah, is it nice? Should we come up? Should we have come to you?
No, I don't think you're missing out. No, you're all right.
All right, good. All right, so you can see here we have that beautiful graphic. Is this one of your covers?
Yes, that's my cover for Hell Hunters #1, which is a miniseries that I drew for Marvel Comics. Came out earlier this year.
That is a stunning cover.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I just want to note, Ghostwriter, one of my favorite characters, probably one of the most difficult characters to write, but visually one of the best, right?
Yeah, and Ghost Rider is really, really fun conceptually, until you have to draw like all the chain links and motorcycles, the vehicle, like, wheels, vehicles, chains. It's one of those characters where you think like that's great until you actually have to draw them, and then
You can file that under creative. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
precisely. So I have enormous respect for people who have drawn Ghost Rider very, very well.
Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into some of your art, but Deanna and I, and you're gonna jump in. I'm just going to be showing. I made an appearance there. For some reason, they didn't have me on the app. They should have probably. They had Todd McFarlane. I thought they would have had my name, but I was just walking around Artist Alley, getting to see people. But one of the things that I did do was, at the direction of Deanna Destito, who you have right here on the screen, is I went person to person with my Marvel Uchida markers and asked people to do some illustrations. These were the live streams. Deanna, can you just tell us who we're looking at here and what we were doing?
So it looks like we had Joe Eisman. He was doing Jughead, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he did Jughead. And then we have Elisabetta. What did she do? I can't see.
That is Elektra.
Oh, she did Electra. Oh, there. Okay, now I see it. I couldn't tell from there. And I think Corolla was doing X-Men, wasn't she? Did she do Gambit?
Yeah, she did Rogue Gambit.
Rogue
So,
Gambit, yeah.
So I was there, and I had a proper camcorder, and I had a phone streaming, because one camera is not enough. I needed to have two, so I did have two cameras. So I recorded everybody live stream, so we would have the live stream video, and then I was also able to get in. Let me do the zoom in here, because we had an interview, did a Q&A. This is up, by the way. This is all live on the channel. So for people who are watching, stay watching. Just open another tab. But I got to talk to Daniel Wu, the world famous actor.
It's amazing. You said he was very nice too, right? He was very friendly.
Very nice. He was very tall, very handsome. He's doing a comic book with our friend Sean Chen called Evermind. He was signing. He was extremely cool with all the fans, signed everything, and then did a 2.5 minute video. And then you can see now I have a video, a slightly better video of Joe Eisma doing the Jughead. I got a nice coup there. I got Joe Quesada working in real time. Adam, it's a pleasure to watch Joe Quesada work. I will tell you, it's one of the best. One of the highlights is watching Joe Quesada draw. Have you ever watched that guy draw?
No, in fact, I saw him. I've only seen him in rooms, and this year was the closest I've ever seen him. And he was, had quite the lineup. He wasn't actively drawing when I walked by. I feel like he was bracing himself for like the line of people that were coming to have things signed for him. So
this is a rare moment. I walk in, Adam, and nobody's in front of Joe.
Get out.
Oh, that's shocking.
And he's just drawing, and I was like, hey. He's like, hey. I was like, do you mind if I record you? He's like, sure. He goes through, and for an artist, Adam, you're going to dig this. Deanna, are you an artist also? You're like me, a mere writer, right? Yeah.
I'm mere words. I don't write.
Deanna and I are nouns and verbs.
Yeah.
What he does, Adam, is he actually takes me through his art kit. I was like, what markers are you working with? Oh, let me take you through my art kit. And he took me through everything that was in his art kit.
How generous of him.
That was, yeah. So very nice. Then we had the dynamic duo from Italy over here. These two were so funny. They just worked all weekend and we're doing great work. But again, I recorded individual videos, but I also did 2 or 3 long walkthroughs. This one was just on Saturday, just to show what one aisle looked like. I also had our good friend Michael Dolce do some live sketching for us. So lots of fun. Adam, where were you in Artist Alley?
So I was not tabling this year. I was there at the Tiny Onion booth to do signings on a couple of the days, and then media and interviews on one of the other days. So I was there from Thursday until Saturday and flew home on Sunday.
Had I known, Adam, I would have video recorded you, right, Deanna? Deanna was like remotely. She's like, okay, go to aisle 55. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was sending him to various locations. I didn't know where you were. I would have sent him to harass you.
Oh, that would have been fine by me. Yeah.
Adam, that Tiny Onion booth every year is just amazing.
Yeah.
It is just amazing the amount of people that are crowding in there trying to get what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean the Tiny Onion folks running the booth, they're not a large crew. It's pretty tight knit. They definitely know what they're doing. They have done an excellent job of attracting people to the booth, and that's in no small part thanks to James Tynion the Fourth, who is pretty much Tiny Onion and is responsible for some pretty stellar books that are out right now. One of which I'm a part of, along with a lot of other really fantastic creators. And yeah, so it was really very cool to be a part of and to sort of soak up all that love and attention that people were giving to the Tiny Onion booth.
Well, we're going to give you the same love and attention here, Adam. It's going to be almost the same thing. So did some walking around. Don't know if you know these people. So Deanna, you should know at least the guy on the left. Yes.
I don't know who that is. Who is
All right,
that?
that's Dee Snider's son. That's Jesse Blaze Snyder.
Oh wow! Okay.
Who came to the Wizard offices when he was in middle school with his father, Dee Snider, at the invitation of Andrew Carden, because Andrew Carden was a giant fan of Twisted Sister band, and he invited him to come. And Jesse came as a mere child. So
wow.
Yes, Jesse
before me at Wizard.
Yes, Jesse continues to write comic books, and in the middle is Digger Mesh from Art Asylum, who was very early on one of the prototypical sculptors who came in and brought hyper articulation and detail, and was blowing up in the 90s. And we're just a bunch of older guys now, so I'll take you through this, and then. This is a bit of the comic book school crew behind the scenes. The folks that you see here in the picture, including the funny looking guy in the middle with the gray shirt. This is more or less the people that work behind the scenes of comic book school. We rarely get together. Even though we live pretty close, we rarely get together. So it was really nice to see the crew. Hold on, I haven't even been looking to see if we have comments. Oh, comments are coming in. Yeah, oh, there you go. You want to give me the read there, Deanna?
It's from Glenn TG something. It's the carpet. It sucks the stink with the general humidity. That is an odor. I felt that in my nostrils as I read that.
That's right. We did pull up the
what a dapper jughead.
That was a dapper jughead.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. NYCC and SDCC are on my bucket list. I kind of, so I have never been to an SDCC. I'm actually going next year for the first time. That was definitely that's my bucket list thing. So I've been to so many NYCCs. I think I'm jaded. That's how I was
Adam, have you been to NYC? Have you been to San Diego?
I have. It's really, really fun.
It's a different vibe, right?
Yeah, totally different vibe, right?
Yes. I mean, a big part of that is like just the town itself and the weather. Both are really large shows. But you know, I feel like that the big difference for me is the Artist Alley in New York is considerably larger and you know, a little more bountiful, let's say, than San Diego, which
Yeah.
is you know, it's publisher booths and the you know, different kinds of media uh, booths that are dominant in that show.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a different vibe, Deanna, and
Okay.
it's a lot quieter. It
Okay.
is the noise level in San Diego, something about the building. It's just physically quieter. Now, who's the guy on the right? That is A.A. Rubin, also known as Ari Rubin or the Surreal Ari. He is part of the comic book school community.
Don't you dare. Uh-oh. Don't show them a picture of me. Oh, now you have to show them.
I mean, you know, when somebody says that, that's like, don't tell them that story about that time that I was naked in the subway, and you're like,
now I have to tell you.
I'm kind of, what is this?
The mystery behind the man, the myth, the something to be revealed tonight. Ooh, that's cryptic.
You didn't know that? All right, so here we go. So I'm going to keep going. Let Glenn Gatilla know if he's going to show up or not. This is, do you know Bevan?
I don't.
Bevan, she's like some sort of like, I don't know, host of TV. She did a TV show on one of the networks about comic books called Drinks with Bevan.
Okay.
And she's pretty popular on Instagram. She'd come in and co-hosted with Mike Dolce one time when I was unavailable. On the right is Darren Sanchez. You know Darren, right, Deanna?
Yep. Darren, I know. Yep, from my Wizard days.
Adam, did you work with Darren? He was a Marvel editor for a long time.
Which Darren? Sorry,
Darren Sanchez.
No, I did work with a Darren at Marvel, but not that Darren.
Not that Darren. Okay. Now that is Marcelo Ferreira. I will never be able to pronounce his name correctly, no matter how many times I've known the guy. I've worked with him. Still can't get his name right. He's from Brazil. Do you know Marcelo? Adam, he's exclusive to Marvel.
I not personally, no.
Deanna, do you know him?
I've never met him personally. No, like I know who of him, but I don't know him personally. No.
Yeah, he's been exclusive. Are you exclusive with anybody, or are you Adam, or are you like a gun for hire, a pencil for hire?
I you know, I like to wander. I like to get around.
Pencil for hire. Okay, let's keep going. And of course, the sire himself, Michael Dolce, and he did an illustration video for us. Now, who are these two people who were imported from Italy, Deanna, and why did you send me over to them?
Carola's on the left, the redhead, and then that's Elisabetta. They're artists that I've interviewed for The Beat and have always been very nice, very sweet, very pleasant. And just, I knew, like, I like their style. I like their work. And as soon as you said I need artists, I knew specifically that Carola was there. So I made sure that you went and visited her. But yeah, and actually I interviewed Adam for The Beat. That's how I met Adam.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, I think it was a vault book. It was one of the vault books that you did. I don't remember which one, but it was one of them. Might have been both, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I make those connections, is when I have these interviews. And usually I try to go to when I go to New York, this is where you were saying about meeting people you see, once a year you get together. This is where I tend to meet people in person. There's so many relationships online that with interviews and this kind, interview Zooms and such, you don't meet these people ever in person, but you talk to them for years. And then you go and you meet them at New York Comic Con, So yes, I've actually connected with a lot of the artists and writers that I've talked to and, have maintained a relationship with, which is nice. I kind of miss this. That's what I missed this year, not going the social side of it.
Yeah, and you sent me dashing about Artist Alley meeting new people. Let's see who else I got together with. Oh, this is so this is Redheaded Ed. This is D Alley. Mm-hmm. Do you know that I kickstarted and made this shirt? I actually produced this. My daughter was in school and she was wearing a superhero shirt. She was in, I think, 7th grade or something. And somebody said, girls don't wear superhero shirts. And she said, girls like comics too. So I made a t-shirt.
I like it. I want
girls
one.
Like comics too. That was my very first Kickstarter.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So D Alley does the graphic design here. She may even be in the audience. You know Joe?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Who doesn't know Joe
Everybody
Elledge?
knows Joe.
Everybody knows Joe. Adam, how do you know Joe Elledge?
I first met Joe working at Valiant. So my time overlapped with his, and
Adam, wait, you were at Valiant?
I was. Yeah, I did a bunch of stuff there.
You did? What did you do?
So one of my first ever assignments, interior assignments in comics, was at Valiant on a miniseries called Dead Drop, and
Sure.
I want to say that was 2015 or 2016 or so. Alish Kott wrote it, and but Joe was not there at that time. But that's where I it's where I cut my teeth in comics, and in particular with Valiant. And but specifically, when I met Joe, I was working on a project called Punk Mambo. That Cullen,
Punk Combo, sure.
yeah, Cullen Bunn was writing, and I think Joe had started working in there. I forget his official title, but it was at New York Comic Con, and he, made a point of finding me and introducing himself to me, and welcoming me aboard. He was just an extremely nice man.
He is an extremely nice man and very generous with his time. Deanna, we have to do like a retrospective. The company that has died and come back from the dead more times than Valiant.
Valiant is very, very Phoenix-like. It has gone down and come back a few times.
I'm always rooting for it.
Yeah.
Everybody's rooting for it. It's sort of like you root for the Mets, like the New York Mets. You root for the Mets. You know they're not really going to win, but you kind of go like, I want to root for them. Whereas the Jets, as a Jets fan, it's nice because my season's over early. I never have to wonder if we're ever going to have to go travel. I never wonder if we're going to be like, oh, do we have to go to a playoff somewhere? We don't worry about that. We're Jets fans.
I don't do sports.
So that's Joe. And then, do you know who this is? Do you guys know Francine Delgado?
No, I don't.
No, I'm afraid I don't.
Francine is awesome. She's doing a lot of work now for Mad Cave. This is a Turtles cover that she had done. She's been slugging it away in Artist Alley for years, just trying to get noticed, and has in the last, I would say 2 years, gotten the traction and recognition that she really deserves. Wonderful artist, Canadian as well.
Really?
Wow. Go Canada. Just a terrific person, and really a master of color. And I bring her markers every year. Adam, do you like markers? Because I'll get some markers your way.
I wouldn't
markers.
I wouldn't say no to markers.
You wouldn't say no to markers. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. All right, hold on. So that is Francine. It looks like we have some comments from the. Go ahead. You want to read us out, Deanna?
All right, Matthew Giff. That is the thing. I am no one and nowhere, yet I'm everyone and everywhere. Ooh, we got riddles. Oh boy.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Awesome to listen and hear all this stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. I think this is a first time thing. Let's give them the welcome, and then we give them their first welcome, and then they earn a badge. So we're pretty excited. Cheering's on a loop, so we're just going to have to pause that for it to go away. So we have a pretty active community here, and we love them. And let's see, I don't know what the heck. I don't know what that means.
Because we were talking about sports, and I said I don't like sports. So
you don't love sports.
I don't love sports.
Don't worry, neither do I. Okay, getting closer. Got to hang out with Wendy and Richard Peeney. And they were guests on our show 2 years ago, and they've agreed to join us again to come back for the show. Wendy has released a pretty impressive new product that sort of flew under the radar. I don't know if you covered it, Deanna. It's Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Oh,
yeah.
Check. I don't recall that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's super nice people, and then of course got to meet Daniel Wu.
Yeah, and Sean Chen, who's been on the show.
Sean Chen we see all the time, but I got to meet Daniel Wu. That was pretty awesome. So have a clip of Daniel Wu, nice guy, incredibly handsome, just super gracious. And I encourage you to go watch the video. Getting there. Who's this kid on the left? That is my own daughter.
Ah, so
yes.
cute.
So she's proudly wearing the comic book school colors, which are black. And she's been coming to this show since she's in a stroller. Do you ever bring your kids to the shows?
To the small New Jersey shows. I have yet to bring my children to something big like New York Comic Con. I'm overwhelmed. I feel like they'll just be losing their minds. Adam, you have kids, right? You haven't brought your kids to these big shows, have you?
Yeah, I have two daughters, and the biggest shows that they've been to are Fan Expo Canada up in Toronto, which is a pretty large show.
Yeah.
They both really enjoy that one, but I haven't brought them to a show any larger than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like to, the small shows are best, just when you're in large groups.
Yeah, my kid once got swept away by a crowd that was running toward Robert Downey Jr. And I learned that it could go bad quickly. And this is A.A. Rubin with his Jack Kirby shirt. This is another artist, Sora, who will be joining us in a future episode. She did some live sketching. Jim Calafiore did some live sketching and live marker work with us. He'll be joining us on the show. Jason May will be joining us on the show. He did some live sketching with the markers. I see you can see a theme. Art Baldassar did some live sketching, and you'll see all of these videos. This was Post Malone's Big Rig. I don't know if you heard a little bit about that, right, Deanna?
Yeah, I heard that Posty caused quite a stir at the show. There was a couple of security concerns.
It was impressive. Did you see this, the Big Rig, Adam?
I did. I stopped by the vault booth before the pandemonium broke out and got to admire that truck up close, but did not stick around for the festivities.
Yeah, it looks like a movie that's getting ready to be made, doesn't it? It's like this is the first prop in the movie.
Yeah. It was really impressive in person.
It was impressive. It's a real truck.
Yeah.
And then Marvel, I don't know. They had multiple booths, right, Adam? I mean,
yeah. Their layout was a little. They had the rooftop scene that you've photographed there, with video playing, and so that was really interesting. And then on the other side of it, I actually didn't venture in there because it was packed when I went, so I don't know if there was stuff being signed or what have you, but they were a little more sprawled than the other booths.
Yeah, they had an impressive merch booth and everything. So hold on, I'm going to put Adam in the green room. So Deanna, can you please introduce and welcome our guest to the show?
Sure. Tonight we have a very prolific, very talented artist who's you've been talking to for about half an hour now, and he's very nice. Adam has worked with a lot of the big companies, Marvel, Valiant, IDW, Vault, Boom, all those big properties, big characters like the Hulk, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's done some work with Archie, some of the Archie characters. So let's give Adam Gorham a big round of applause.
Hi again. Great to be back.
We do that for the segment clipper, Adam. This way I can clip this as a separate segment. But tonight you're going to be showing us a step-by-step of how you draw magic. But first, people can find you. It looks like you're most active on your Instagram.
That's correct. So I'm on Instagram. My handle is Adam T. Gorham, and I'm always posting art, usually close-ups of inks, sometimes videos. But yeah, you can get your Adam Gorham art fix easily on Instagram.
I found it myself, and oh my God, this art is awesome. Just quickly tell us what we're looking at here, because I was super impressed with this. I know I've read your work or seen your work at some point, but like when I was really looking at this, I was like, wow, this guy's really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so those are pages from the Incredible Hulk issue 28, which is the first of 2 issues that I've done recently on the Incredible Hulk. And it will, in about a month's time, will become the Infernal Hulk, and I will be returning to the series for a little further down the line for a pretty major arc. But yeah, this is sort of like, I guess you could say, the start of my tenure on the ongoing Hulk book.
Yeah, this looks really great. And who's doing your colors? Because the colors are like really bring out the magic in your work.
Yeah, well, thank you. They're fantastic. They're by Matt Wilson, prolific comic color artist. I wanted to be colored by Matt for a very long time. In fact, I very early in my career, I did some ghost inking for a friend, my friend Mike Walsh, on I believe it was Secret Avengers at the time, that Matt was coloring, and his work on that book was just really amazing. So it's been for me a long time coming to have him, boost my inks with his colors.
This effect here, it
Mm.
just blows me away.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of that was done with airbrush and ink wash. So I wanted, like in the script was really Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's writing the Hulk title. Um, really, with gave me this vivid uh, depiction of light coming down through the sea, the sea surface down to like the darker depths of the ocean. And so I really wanted to capture that, and so I broke out a few things in order to do so. And one of them was my airbrush, which I implement from time to time, and ink washes, which has become kind of a staple of the Hulk book since Nick Klein took over art duties. Nick Klein is an amazing Marvel artist and has really, he inks with brush and he uses tone to excellent effect. So that's something that that I'm keeping up with my own art.
And also, I could not help but notice the storytelling. You've got this multi-plane, and we'll count the number of planes that you have on this particular splash page. But then just talk to me about, you've got this full page sequence and then these 3 insets. Can you just talk about what you're doing here as an artist and what you're communicating?
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, with issue 28, where Hulk is at in the story is he's just I mean, Hulk is always having kind of a rough time. So but he's had some recent turmoil, and he's trying to get away from it all. And so one of the few places on Earth that he can find solace is the bottom of the ocean. And so that's where we find him at the beginning of this issue. And so we find him sitting on atop a shipwreck, and almost in meditative, in a Zen state. And Philip's script depicted just vibrant ocean, sea life, and at the same time, like you have a shark eating something, so there's life, there's death, there's growth, there's decay, you know just this cycle that Hulk is sort of sitting in and being surrounded by and feeling it all. So it's uh not often do you get the chance to draw a peaceful looking Hulk, which was a really fun opportunity. And then I so we're coming down on Hulk on that first page to see him on the deck of the ship there. And so we start with a close up on him, and we pull back in the second panel to see that his hair is kind of like floating in water, and then pull back to get a better sense of where he is, and then pull even further back on the following page to show the landscape, and to show the light coming down from the surface, illuminating Hulk from behind, and then the scene beyond the ship, which is what's in the immediate foreground. Um, and then the cascading panels, we're just sort of getting back to Hulk's frame of mind where he's trying to concentrate, and then something pulls him out of that Zen state.
You very artfully use these inset panels. And again, I can't help but observe how you use it to move the camera in and out, but in a non-traditional way where you're not doing traditional borders. How do you plan out these insets so that they have the greatest impact and that they don't get lost?
Well, so my first thought is always like where I'm moving the eye on any given page. So obviously, like we're starting at the top left corner. We're bringing it down to ultimately the bottom right corner, and sometimes, a lot of times, you're zigzagging. So I think about, where my eye goes and what I'm going to put there, and so like in this case, like if I did the three panels just horizontally, just in a line, um, it would feel less interesting. Like I might get the same thing, but it would feel less interesting to me. So the way that I have them cascading, with the coral and the sea life behind them, to me, it kind of gave the sense that the panels might be floating in the water along with the animal life behind them. Um, and so that's kind of why I arranged them the way they did, and without really sacrificing any of the detail in the background. So that was my thought process. So like, with that page in particular, your eye is starting out where, the light source is the moon up top, and it's like coming down over Hulk, and then it's moving down along the ship and just kind of zigzagging until you get to those cascading panels, and then
Here's what I want
anchor.
to do. I want to do something real quick, because I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
that you're onto something here that I think is worth exploring. So you can still see what I'm doing here, right?
Yeah, I certainly can.
Okay, so because comic book school is all about the craft and the business, and just talking about what you're talking about here, I want to just explore how you are doing this, because I don't know if people are going to fully catch up with what you're doing, because okay, so you go like this, right? Your eye is tracking like this,
Yep.
and then you're tracking, and this I don't know, for lack of a better term, Fibonacci curve or whatever it is, also draws the eye, right?
Yep.
You've drawn the curve like this, so you go like this. I can't get a curve right now, but the curve, the curve redraws back down to the Hulk, and you can see Hulk looking up. Okay, so if we acknowledge that the Hulk is looking up, he is looking up and over, but also this continues the path to reveal that there is a plane. And then when the plane is in this direction, if we zoom back out, we do this. I just am marveling at how masterfully you've drawn the eye, but also showed us the focus of the Hulk's attention. I would say the Hulk's attention maybe is in a different spot, but how did I do interpreting your work?
Spot on, I would say. Yeah, like you don't need to. It's sometimes I'm drawing these things that I'm not even really, in a way where it's more like intuitive than it is me being like, very purposeful. Like I do everything with intent. Obviously, these aren't happy accidents, but it's sort of, it's become second nature to think like when I'm arranging a page, I'm reading the script. I'm reading, what is required in every panel. What I feel, sometimes the writer will emphasize which panel needs to be dominant, not always. So sometimes I know what really needs to sell the page, and then other times I get to decide for myself what will be the focal point of the page. But in either case, I have to think of how to arrange that information in a way that is like interesting, in a way that tells a story. And so like some of it's second nature, and then some of it I come back and I look at it and I think like, even further down in the process, when I'm making my page, I might think, what, this panel that I had here, maybe it needs to be larger, maybe it needs to actually not have borders, and it needs to go full bleed and have panels around it, and so on. But yes, in this case, like I knew that I wanted to sort of come down and then follow the school of fish back around, and you're seeing the shadow of the shark is casting, and not the shark itself.
Oh,
And
I thought
then
that was an airplane. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was a shark. But
No, that's okay. And
Deanna, now you see it, right? You can't unsee it. Now you see how he guided your eye masterfully
Oh
across the
yeah.
page, right?
I love having those inset panels. I think that's a cool technique, and I think it's such a it makes it look more fluid than when it's just boxy. And not that you can't have boxy panels like the usual layout, but it does break it up a little bit when you do have something. And I like how you're it's underwater, so there is kind of a fluidity to it, which is nice. And it kind of takes you. It's very that especially that middle page is very atmospheric, and it definitely sets the scene, which I think sometimes, and I know the colors play into it and all, and the, the light source and all of that, but it just comes together in such a way that it puts you under the water with him, which I think is brilliant.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have some comments. Matthew Gift takes umbrage with this being described as a Fibonacci curve versus a French curve. Adam, you're an artist. What is it? A French curve?
I didn't have any specific curve in mind when I plotted it out. So, I'm going to leave this one open to interpretation.
All right.
Curve.
That is so our first timer, David, had a comment here, Deanna.
Amazing, awesome artwork here. Various emojis.
Jared, who I should note, there are two people who are dialing in from Australia. Jared is one of them. You should be nice to him. He's like 6'5" and would snap us in half. Do you want to answer that question, Adam?
Yeah, so this is all traditional. I love to get my hands dirty. I'm also not like as skilled at traditional art as others are. So yeah, I'm all of this is by hand. As I said, I broke out my airbrush, I broke out my paint brushes for ink wash. I threw everything at these pages, I don't mind saying.
Yeah, well, you gave them their money's worth, I think. Now you're going to give us our money's worth because you gave us some sketches, and we're going to go through. We only have 5 of them, or we're pretty long in the show here. You want to just take us through what you're doing here, and I guess you're working pretty small.
Yeah. So lately I've been doing this monthly sketch challenge that I set for myself, where every since July I've been drawing on standard mailing envelopes, and with the theme is basically I'm pretending I'm like 12 years old again, drawing on envelopes to send into Wizard magazine for their Magic Words letter art column, and which I used to do a whole bunch. And so so it presupposes that Wizard is still publishing and that I'm submitting them. And lucky me, every month my envelope gets picked, wouldn't you know? So so that's the whole thing. But every envelope starts out traditional, as that's what I like to do. So so this month I've decided on magic, and I was partly inspired by the work of an artist whose handle is Sway, who is a phenomenal artist. Lately, they've been doing covers for Marvel and DC. If you know their work, it's astonishing. And I met them. I've seen them a few times, but I met them recently at New York Comic Con, where they worked on a slew of just really incredible magic commissions. And they're an artist that I think has really made magic their own in a very special way. I drew magic in a New Mutants miniseries at Marvel called New Mutants Dead Souls, and really fell in love with the character. And had my own design for magic at the time, but my design is very different from what her current look is. And so with all of that in mind, I thought it would be fun this month to draw magic, to return to a character that I had once had a lot invested in, and I've seen other people draw really, really well. So
here you're just going really rough. I guess this is a number 2. You're probably using the side of the pencil, right?
yeah, so it's a HB, standard Bic HB pencil, and it's just like a small pad of like scratch paper, or like like as thin as bond paper. And so before the one you see here, like I really went over like a variety of different poses with swords and stuff like that, and while keeping in mind the dimensions of an envelope, and decided that something a little more simple and stoic would fit those dimensions best. So I worked out the pose that you see here really roughly. Got the frame in place, and loose details of Magik's armor, hair, her headpiece, and sword, and all that. So
Wait,
I worked.
we have a question here, Deanna.
Yeah.
You want to read this out?
All right, Matthew asks, would this be considered a gesture drawing, or is it
Yeah.
too detailed?
No, it is a gesture drawing. There is some detail on there, but it's still loose enough to just be more of like an essence of the pose rather than like a drawing in and of itself. So yeah, I would say so.
I would say so too. And by the way, Deanna, you're going to have to can you read if the Australians?
I don't know if I can do an Australian accent. I'll sound either like the characters on Bluey or just because I have two little kids. But
well, Adam, you might if you want to participate and butcher another culture's.
Like to be Australian.
And yeah, feel free. I gave up on it. Okay, so what's going on here? So you took this rough, loose gesture drawing, and what did you do?
So it's the same piece of paper. I just took a Sharpie and just plotted out like put some definitive lines on the overall figure. Just for me, like mapping things out. So that's what I did there, and just to kind of like firm out how the pose I'd want to be, or how I want the pose to be, and how I'd want the hair flowing. Just basically committing to some of the lines that were a little more loose in the pencils.
And what I'm seeing here is also, here are the key points that you're going to have the viewer key in on, right? There's certain stuff that you've prioritized, others that you've deprioritized, and you know where their eye is going to go.
Yes.
And I think that's what you're spotting out. And I think I was observing that you're using traditionals, but this is in Australian, Deanna. So.
Oh, okay. I'm not. I don't want to hurt another culture by trying to do their accent. That's awesome that it's all traditional. It is. I kind of love the fact that you kind of go all traditional. It's not all technology and digital. It's pretty awesome. I agree.
and sometimes they'll say, oh, you need to get better tools. You need better paper. You need better. What you're showing here, Adam, is you just got to sit down and do it. You're taking a piece of paper, a pencil, and a Sharpie, things that in everybody's junk drawer is there, and you're just making it happen. I think one of the things that I keyed in on was you challenging yourself to do this on a regular basis and keeping your hand fresh. How frequently do you do these? I forget what you said.
Well, the Wizard magazine thing is a monthly exercise. However, I try to do, like I'm drawing every day professionally, but I try to do warm-up sketches. So this sketch, not only was it my monthly exercise, it was also the first thing that I've drawn since returning from New York Comic Con. So even, I was drawing pages right up until I caught my flight. But even just having like a couple days off, I had some rust to shake off. So this served a couple of purposes. It was my warm up, and it was just something that I've given to myself for fun.
I marvel at the fact that you thought you had rust to shake off. You know what, Jeff? We love seeing the process as well. We're going to give you a little bit more on your comic. Hold on, somebody.
I have a comic on Kickstarter inspired by Supernatural and Grimm. Oh,
all right. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Matthew. Always good to see Matthew in the audience. Okay, so we're going to move on a little bit now. What are we looking at here? Because you gave me these in order.
Yes.
You're back to pencil.
Okay, so this is now I'm drawing on the envelope itself. So I've done my rough draft. I've kind of committed to the lines that I knew, basically the overall form and structure of the character. And then in between, from leaping from that sketch to what'll be like the finished piece, I've internally I've thought what needs tweaks and what's going to now that I'm working in the actual dimensions, the sketch that I just did would need some modifying, and so
All
then
right.
I'm just kind of eyeballing, you know.
All
And
right,
so
hold on a second. I got to do
yeah,
something. So, since we've committed to just doing the show in real time, I'm gonna do something here,
yeah.
and we're gonna compare the change.
Oh, fun.
Oops. So much for the reveal. But they can deal with the reveal. So talk to us about what changed from your original to your now version. Like, I can't see any difference. Can you, what's different?
Nothing tremendously different. It's really just a matter of
I see like
you
the
know,
tilt of the head maybe a little bit.
yeah. So the tilt of the head is slightly different. That for me was just a slight change in mood and attitude. With her head tilted up, it's a little more heroic and confident. With it tilted down, it's a little bit more malevolent, which is something I kind of like to see from magic. Um, and or just more attitude. And then obviously the envelope is longer than it is wide, so I had to condense the
Mm.
figure so that it fit within its in the envelope's framework. um and then I had to make there's her hand that's holding the sword, which is more immediate, and then her hand on the other side. I decided to make that hand open and claw like,
Yeah, you
so
can
that
see that.
Mm.
I think
yeah.
that's more effective in the way you have it. Actually, I'm going to just do a quick thing here because somebody made a comment that I'll ask Deanna.
Her face is mesmerizing. Her gaze is mesmerizing. Yeah, I mean, I like the change. I like the way that you changed it from that more confident, like, up to the little bit more menacing. Because you're right, Magic is a character who kind of straddles both, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's, I mean, that's like, apart from just the mechanics of anatomy and the pose, like, there's acting involved, in cartooning, and I so that's another thing that I try to keep in mind when I'm drawing a character, is how they're going to act, how they emote with their pose and their gesture.
What's
And
different with the emoting? Because you have a slight up angle on the left side,
yep.
and maybe she's sort of puffing her rib cage out a little bit more. And here it looks like she's a little bit more resting on her hips. What's happening with the attitude, and what's her body language saying?
So the first one in the sketch, with her chest out, shoulders rolled a little bit back, head tilted up, that's more heroic, more
Hmm.
confident, and perhaps even maybe a little lighter. In the second one, where I have her head tilted down, so she's kind of looking up from her brow, um, and shoulders maybe rolled a little bit forward. That one looks like she's a little bit, she's ready to throw down, she's ready to wield that sword if necessary. There, it's more imposing, more
Hmm.
threatening. um and yeah, so those are, I guess, would be, there's, subtle changes, but that's what they amount to.
Deanna, what do you think? I mean, when you're looking at this, um, are you seeing these?
Hmm.
Because I don't see it, but the more he explains it, the more I'm like, oh, now I see it. Or do you see it, or is it just sort of a feeling that that's being evoked?
The first time we saw the envelope sketch, when it changed, the first thing I noticed was her facial expression and
Oh, you
her.
did.
Yeah, that was the first thing, was the way her head was no longer up, and it's almost like the fight, and then she's heroic because she defeated you. Like, it's almost like, story wise, it's probably the other way around, where she's like, I'm about to kill you, and then she's like, and I did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first thing I saw was, that was the first thing I noticed, was the change in her, the way her gaze was, for sure.
And no matter what, I mean, there's a lot of confidence in both body languages. But Deanna, I agree with you. There's almost like a subtle shift. That before and after
Mhm.
is pretty amazing. And then you take us then to the final, which I've only teased 6 or 7 times as I click through.
Everybody
Uh,
gets shocked.
this is a class that likes to know about the tools. Talk to us about what tools you've got here.
Yeah, sure. So I started out, this is like midway inking. So I started out using a zebra brush pen, a soft tip brush pen. That's the gray one that you see on the very edge there.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I love that particular instrument. It's got a lot of range. I don't. I have kind of a heavy hand, and that, it's delicate, but it also can withstand my heavy-handedness. And so I'll use that for when I, like it mimics a brush to an extent, but it's, short. Its tip is short, so it's like short range brush inking. So for smaller details, but it still gives you that can give you that line weight in shorter strokes.
Now, what brand is this? I don't read this language. What
Oh,
brand is this? What brand is this?
it's a zebra. So
Zebra.
the gray one is zebra brush tip pen. Now the pen next to it, that's more of a tech pen, and it's a point .7,
Mm-hmm.
and that's by Molotow, which I believe is German, and so that I'll use for it's a tech pen, but it's got kind of like a rounded tip, so I'm able to roll it and get like really fine, like almost like feathery line work out of it. It's great for hatching, obviously. It's great for outlining. Um, but I use it in a way where I get like really wispy lines. And
Which lines? Talk to me about which lines you
yeah,
might
sure.
pull through this.
They might be more when we get to the next one. I think that be they'll be of greater use. But so in the image that we have now, the two main instruments that I used were the zebra pen, and then the yellow pen, the Kuretake. It's also a synthetic brush pen, but its brush is longer and kind of mimics like a Japanese watercolor ink brush, and that's really good for filling larger spaces, as you can see on elements of her costume, and it's also great for for feathering, for rougher brush strokes, and texture. Uh, so you can see that I've used that on elements of her armor, her gauntlet, and the outside of her arm there, and then as well just for filling in those larger black spaces.
Deanna, I'm always amazed when I hear artists talk about this, and I feel like the biggest decision that you and I have to make is: do we get a clacky keyboard, or do we get it? Or do we?
I'm always impressed because, like I said, I am. This is not where I live. I am not an artist in any capacity. So this is always amazing, and it's always amazing for me as a writer. And I'm sure you feel like this too, Buddy. When you write a script or you write a character description and you hand it to an artist, and then they produce something gorgeous, and you're like, oh yeah, no, totally. That's what I said the whole time.
Yeah, you feel very lucky. So we see the comments coming in.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry, he's from Australia,
Oh,
Deanna.
very cool. I can't.
I'm not sure. Night Slayer. What was the Night Slayers? Is that something? Is that
that's their Kickstarter, right, Matthew?
Oh, okay.
Got it. Okay.
There you go.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah,
You're paying attention. All right, go ahead, David.
Adam, thanks for sharing your experience here. I can't even draw a smiley face. My toddler can, but this is so cool to hear your thoughts and how you come up with a design. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. My children or my students go, "Can you draw this?" And I go, "Nope."
What's concerning is that David's toddler can draw better than David.
That is concerning, but I think my children can. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. Neither can I.
I would hope that if you had to save your life, you could draw a straight line.
But then you'd be nervous and be like,
yeah.
I wish I had the time and the skill to learn how to draw.
We wish you did too. But you know what? Andrew Campbell is actually he's kept himself to a schedule. He's a writer. So this is authentically on an envelope, which is entertaining to no end. Back when we were at Wizard, Deanna and I were at Wizard at different times. It's sort of like Deanna and I went to high school together, but not at the same time. Yeah. Seeing people mail in original art like this every day arriving on Jim McLaughlin's desk for Magic Words was stunning. Like there was this leap of faith that you were like, sure, I'm going to put a 22-cent stamp on this and it's going to get to my original art's going to get to Wizard. And you were one of the people that sent that in, right, Adam?
I sent in a few in my time, and as far as I know, I've only had one that got published.
I bet you we've seen a lot of his work before we knew that he was Adam Gorham.
Adam, what issue? Do you remember what issue of Wizard you were in? We'll see if we can get the Wizard podcast to find it for us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I know that it's on like a shelf clear across my room. But it was in 2002, and I drew, because it came out around the time that the film Kill Bill came out, and I drew like Wolverine in like the yellow jumpsuit with the black stripe, holding a katana. So it was kind of like a mashup of Wolverine and the Bride. And I sent that in, and I didn't hear anything back, and just kind of, that was the last envelope that I sent. And then it was like maybe like a few years later, Wizard would be gone. And so fast forward a number of years, I want to say like 2007, maybe 2008. I was, in a part of the city waiting for my spouse. We were just dating then, but I was waiting for them to get off of work, and I went into a used bookstore that had these like, dollar bins and stuff like that, and they had a short box of old Wizard mags. And just to pass time, I picked one up and opened it up, and my envelope was in it. And
no way, come on! You went all these years and didn't know that Wizard had published your stuff?
No, I didn't receive any word or anything like that. So
I wonder if I have it, because I was there around that time, and I'm wondering if I'm going to go dig through my Wizards and see if I have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll find it for you later.
That is so weird to open up a magazine randomly while waiting. And
there it is.
And there's your stuff.
Yeah, it was, it like I kind of, it was like almost, when you hear people describe seeing a ghost, it was like that. Like it was like the goosebumps, the electric feeling. I honestly could not believe what I was holding in my hands.
Did you feel like you were almost being pranked? You were like, is this real? Come on.
Yeah, I could not believe it at first. It's true. But yeah.
Wow.
That is absolutely.
That is the universe jumping in, and we're like, look.
Yeah.
Somebody, go ahead, Deanna.
Right, Jeff, I like the loose style on the inking, like Hubert and Daniel Warren Johnson.
Oh, well, thank you.
Nice. What do you think of those comparisons? Do you feel like you've got the looseness that is like these artists?
Yeah, I would say that it's comparable. This sketch in particular as well. Like I grew up loving Adam Kubert specifically, but Andy Kubert as well. But Adam Kubert.
You don't have to say you like both of them. You can just say you like one. It's fine. They're not gonna get mad.
I do like both of them, but I was a bigger Adam Kubert guy, I remember. And then of course, like, Daniel Warren Johnson is phenomenal, and yeah, I've been a big fan of his work for a long time.
All right, well, we're almost done, because we're going to see what it would look like if Deanna had plucked you out of the slush pile and embedded you. Oh, we're not. I'm sorry, that was a long drum roll. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. So this is I think this is the finished ink work, and so here is where you can see I've really implemented the Molotow 0.7 pen. So there's some like feathering on her hair, as well as like across her cheeks there, and some on her abdomen. I was able to do that by just like rolling the edge of the fine liner. So just some light feathering there. And then of course, like, I just took a ruler and I, these like, vertical lines going up behind her to kind of give the feeling of, like rushing energy or movement, or just, some intensity behind her. You see this a lot in manga, just these, like these, kinetic energy lines that, just make the composition and the a lot more interesting, give the figure more energy than, they may be standing still, but it's almost as if like the air around them is swirling and electric with the with their intensity. So Magik, who's known for creating portals to limbo and things like that, so like her lower half is kind of engulfed in demonic brimstone fire. So, there's basically, I try to convey the sense that, the energy is coming from the ground up, and, emanating from her soul sword and all that. And then at the very top, I so I did the lines coming down from behind her, and then at the very top, I had added more lines coming down, as well as took that Kuretake brush tip pen, and then just like with the broad side of it, brought it down vertically to kind of create like murkier texture that kind of slow, that bleed into those vertical lines. And then finally, I used a Molotow acrylic white ink pen just for some fine lining and some detail here and there, and to get rid of some lines that
Yeah, I see it here, like on the tip of the
yeah,
spike there, right?
yeah, just to just to give some backlighting and accents to certain details that I felt got lost. And so yeah, that there's all the finished inks with all the pencils erased.
Yeah, with working with a marker company, I work a lot. They Marvel Uchida supplies us with a lot of markers and pens, and I am always impressed with how artists will finish something and then realize, oh, I need a highlight, and then they use that white, and you need
Yeah,
that acrylic white to not get soaked in, not to blend, but really to sit on top.
yeah, yeah. It's really handy, and can be used to great effect. There's you can it sometimes planning for it in advance, like drawing around those areas that you want haloed, can be a real pain. So it's often much easier to add that after the fact.
So, Deanna, what do you think of the final captured image and the process of realizing this vision?
I'm always impressed with how almost like a pinup shot or something that's not a dynamic page still has movement. And like you can see, like you were saying, there's this kinetic energy that it's all in the strokes, right? It's all in that dynamic of the light and the dark. And I'm always impressed because, see back to the fact that I can't draw anything. So it's amazing to make like just this still, it's almost like a snapshot of her, but it's still movement. And I think especially with a character like Magik, who does the portals, who channels this energy, you almost need her to feel electric all the time. You know what I mean? And that impresses me a lot.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm just going to send you my address and a stamp, so this envelope doesn't go to waste.
Appreciate it.
Deanna picked you out of the slush pile. Deanna, what made you decide to pick this one for the envelope art?
Well, first of all, I love X-Men. I do love anything X-Men related, and New Mutants and all that. And magic words. She's magic.
And this is from the Wizard October 2025 issue.
Yes, we're bringing Wizard back, apparently.
Yeah, you channeled Jim McLaughlin's voice from Magic Words for this, Adam. You actually went above and beyond.
This is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I still have a couple of issues of Wizard laying around, so I looked at the mock-ups that they did, or like the dress and all that, and then went online and looked for other examples as well, just so I could have a variety. This is my fourth one in this series, so I want to go at least 12 months. I don't always do the blurb, but I had some, with this being a vertical one, I had some room, so I decided to put in. This is, I think a verbatim off of one of the examples that I found online. But I did not, from my own experience, I did not get a copy signed by everybody at Wizard. I think in another example I read, the lucky winner of the letter art contest got a hat. I think a Wizard hat.
You should see what the losers got. I just want to note.
Oh no!
That takes me back. That's the real address.
That's
I was like,
address. Oh my god!
That is the actual address. And real quick, there's a couple questions in here. Before you get to their question, I have a question. How did you color this?
I colored this really quickly on Photoshop. So I was, by this point in the day, I wanted to have it ready for the show, so I was doing my best to have it done on Photoshop. So like I'm a proficient colorist. You know, I'm certainly not as good as the people who color me on a monthly basis, but um, you know, for a really basic color job, I also find that like the faster I color, the more it emulates the early digital colors from like the late 90s, early
Mm-hmm.
thousands. So you know, I guess that's in my ability. I guess that right now I'm at where the people who are just the pioneers of the digital coloring area, that's where I'm at. So you know, it does, to my eye anyway, it feels a piece of the era that I'm hearkening back to. Um, so yeah, I just very simply like, you know, scan my art, put it in Photoshop, separated the inks from, you know, the white background, and then, you know, put a red layer behind it, and then, you know, some orange and yellow gradients coming up from the bottom. And then on a separate layer, uh, you know, lassoed Magic Swarm, and then colored in every individual aspect, and then lastly added some like orange and yellow highlights where necessary. So, um, you know, nothing fancy, pretty, you know, pretty quick and dirty, all things considered, but still quite a lot of fun and, you know, excellent practice.
I have to say, when I opened this up and I saw this, I go, did I miss Wizard coming back?
Yeah,
and,
well, that's.
and I was kind of like, I had a little minor like PTSD.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't want to bring back any bad memories. Like I
No,
only
I was
have.
just like, I saw the logo and I went, wait a minute.
Oh, well, that's really fun. That is
Well,
what I'm trying. That is exactly what I'm trying to get across. And I believe that you know, as I said, this is my fourth one, and I think that there are people following me that think that I'm honestly submitting this to Wizard, and that it's like, you know, that I'm getting picked, right?
Yeah.
So I don't. So I'm not sure if my concept is like coming across crystal clear, but nevertheless, they've been a lot of fun to do, and I'm looking
Adam,
forward to.
people, I have bumped into people at Comic-Con who go, "Do you still work at Wizard?"
Oh my gosh, it's been defunct for how many years now? But
And
I
I
gotta
got,
tell you, it's the way that looks. It looks, you're like you were saying, it looks like it fits right into the magazine. It's perfect. That's why I kind of like had that moment of
That's awesome.
all right. So you had a couple comments, Deanna. You ready?
I'm ready. She's a badass. She's definitely from the Jersey Shore fighting off the bennies.
All right. And then we have a process question. You want to give us a little
Sure.
insight for
How long to complete this whole piece?
So from, you know, from pencil to, you know, laying it out on Photoshop, I want to say like a couple of hours. You know, more or less, give or take a few minutes. As you know, again, this is like for my, because it's a warm up exercise, and you know, it's really just to kind of get my creative juices flowing and to keep it fun. Like I don't want to labor over it too much. And then I think of what makes them fun and feel authentic in a way that you described is the fact that, like, you know, it's not there, like, you know, there are a lot of really excellent Wizard envelopes that I remember seeing them, but they were by amateur and aspiring artists, right? So me working fast and, like, you know, maybe a little sloppy kind of captures
Mm.
that feeling as well, right? Like it's not meant to be, you know, this is not meant to be fit for print, you know what I mean, at Marvel. So you know, that me working fast kind of feeds into that for these pieces. So you know, I would say a couple hours, and you know, just like I said, light, breezy, keeping it fun.
Yeah, well, I think the key thing that you just triggered in me was how many comic artists submitted to Wizard. I'm vaguely recalling J. Scott Campbell was one of them that was printed in Wizard. Where we wish we had that original art, and I don't know, Deanna, where that art went.
Who knows where
It
that
probably just got
it probably just got who knows tossed. I do want
tossed.
to go back to all my issues, all my comp issues, and see who's in there now, because I feel like we're probably going to find a lot of people who submitted.
Oh, wow, yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
somebody had a question. You'll
Who
know
are
the answer.
Bennies? Are they the rivals of the Jets? Oh, that's spectacular.
Bennies are the people who go down the Jersey Shore.
Down the Jersey Shore. They're the North Jersey,
Did you know
Baylor,
that?
Elizabeth, Newark. They travel down the Jersey Shore and you know, cause a ruckus.
Oh.
More importantly, how many artists did Buddy reject? Ooh, Buddy. Hot seat.
Actually, I was not part of the selection process
Yeah,
at
neither was
all.
I.
I saw it when it came out.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're making time here with we're getting close. We're running a little longer than we usually run, but it's because we're here in Adam's office. Adam, what's going on? This is a beautiful office.
Nice.
Is
Oh,
it
thank
always
you.
this neat, or did you clean it up for us?
I did my best to tidy it up a little bit. Again, this is like I got home from my weekend away. I didn't leave it in a great state and came back to it. It was somehow messier with me gone. Um, yeah, but this is where I'm sitting now. That's the view from my seat here. So you can see my desk there. I've got my Cintiq. I've got my um, what do you call it, display there, my iPad. I'm working on all three, for different reasons. There's my drawing board. It's got junk piled under it. And there's like a little wheelie table there for various art supplies that I just pull on over to me, and um, drawers full of full of paper and scrapped pages and whatnot. And then apart from that,
Somebody commented. Go ahead.
yeah.
Don't happen to be a Godzilla fan. Well, you drew Godzilla, right? Didn't you work on some Godzilla stuff?
Yeah, I've worked on a couple of Godzilla projects at IDW, and it's no coincidence that I'm also a fan. So yeah, I've got a little. During the pandemic, I got big into collecting Godzilla figures to maintain my sanity.
And there is a lot of Godzilla to collect. Okay,
Yes,
now
sir.
we go over here to the bookcase, the gratuitous standard bookcase. What's it loaded up with? Not too long, but give us the overview.
So that top shelf is predominantly Batman stuff. I've not all the Batman stuff I've ever had, but most of the Batman stuff that I've greatly enjoyed and have kept. And then basically alphabetical by title. Um, I can see East of West, the entirety of East of West. Kagan McLeod's Infinite Kung Fu from Top Shelf is there. And that's on the second shelf. Jay Stevens' Dwellings from Aoni, that's on there. And down on the
that book. We have to do an episode on Dwellings. Dwellings is so fun.
It's a good
yeah,
book.
it's great. Jay's great. It's a brilliant book. And then going down, we've got a couple of volumes of 100 Bullets, which I've never finished, as well as Darwin Cook's DC book. I'm blanking on the name. Shame on me. And then in the middle there, we've got I think all of the current volumes of Something Is Killing the Children, written by James Tynion the Fourth.
Hopefully, they're comping those to you.
No, I buy them like a good boy.
It's a great book. It's a great series.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. So does my oldest girl. We both read it. And then not far from that is Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman Warlord saga, which is really, really fun. It's kind of like Superman meets John Carter of Mars. Um, and then down below that is kind of more of like my indie zine shelf. So a lot of zines that I've picked up from friends and colleagues over the years, and then you have like Darwin Cook's Parker novels or Parker graphic novels down there, Charles Burns' Black Hole, and then just a few other things that my friends have made. And then way down below we have not all of the Walking Dead hardcovers, but quite a few of them, as
Yeah,
well as
it looks like you got a pretty good. It doesn't look like you have the phone books. It looks like you have the actual hardcovers, right?
Yeah, the actual hard. I mean, those were coming out first, and I mean that was the only way I could read the series because like singles was too short. Even the trades felt too short. So, and then my New X-Men Omnibus, New X-Men was it's my favorite era of X-Men. It's the book that kind of brought me back to reading comics when I was a teenager. And then we have some binders. One binder is full of trading cards that I casually collect, and then another binder is like my sticker album because so many of my colleagues make really, really fun and excellent stickers, and I need to put them somewhere.
Got to put them somewhere. All right, let's jump
Exactly.
on. Let's jump on. People can find you on the Instagram where you post your art, including your magic words art and sketches and other fine things. And 23,800 people have who've swallowed the red pill or the blue pill.
We don't like the red pill.
Yeah.
But they're on Team Gorham.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so Adam, this is where we're gonna go. I'm gonna tee it up. I'm gonna read the quote, and then I'm gonna have you say your one piece of advice. Okay, so we're gonna tee this up real quick.
Okay.
See how formal it becomes. We get it this way. It's ready to be clipped. Adam, what is one piece of advice that you wish you had received earlier in your career?
As a freelancer, you need to set aside a percentage of your every paycheck that you get. Set aside that for your annual tax bill. It will make your future self really, really happy and grateful.
That's good advice.
It is. It's excellent practical advice.
Excellent practical advice. Okay. You can follow us on all of the socials. But before we go, we're going to be putting Adam into the green room. Deanna, you know, Mike always leaves some food in the green room. What did you leave for Adam in the green room?
So he was very particular about what he wanted for snacks, and he requested a hard-boiled egg and a brick of Parmesan, not sprinkles, a brick.
Wow. You went above and beyond to make sure that Adam is well fed back there in the green room.
Yeah, he didn't ask for a greeter, so I'm assuming he's just gonna like get in there and chew it. So
yeah. Keeps me occupied, keeps me busy.
All
right, well, I want to thank you, Deanna, for coming along, co-hosting this with us, and for bringing Adam into the fold. Adam, we were thrilled to have you. Let's give you another round of applause for joining us, and also a little round of applause for Deanna, who did a heck of a good job filling in for Mike's very large shoes.
Very, very big clown shoes, that Mike.
Yeah, so here's our play out music. All right, you can find us on the social media platforms. We're mostly on X and Instagram. We're retiring our TikTok and our Facebook, and coming soon, we're going to Patreon. You can catch us live every single Tuesday, just like tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about the craft and business of making comments. We thank you so much from everybody. We really appreciate you coming, and we will hopefully see you again for another show. Adam, thank you for coming, and thank you, Deanna, for filling in. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday.